Nothing could be further from the truth. And I'm not surprised by the misrepresentation in the Spanish newspapers. I'm surprised by the misrepresentation that the opposition in Gibraltar have made of what these arrangements are. These are not new arrangements. I think the leader of the opposition has accepted that in the interview that he gave you. These are the arrangements entered into by the United Kingdom and the European Union under the withdrawal agreement. And what we have announced is the mechanism by which we will be giving effect to the withdrawal agreement commitments, and in doing so, we have given away absolutely none of the negotiating advantage that we have in the context of the discussions for the future relationship, and neither have we given away that we will apply at the frontier between Gibraltar and Spain the principle of reciprocity if there are going to be checks after the 1st of January, for whatever period there may be, until we have another arrangement, in the context of how our citizens are checked as we enter the European Union, and when we check citizens coming into Gibraltar from the European Union, whether they are workers or not. And anybody who believes that we have permitted any arrangement whereby we will be treated in a way that is less favourable than the treatment we are now obliged to give those who are crossing into Gibraltar has completely misunderstood these arrangements, or worse, is trying to misrepresent them.
When you talk about reciprocity, what do you mean by that? Do you mean that Gibraltarians will have the same access to free flow across the frontier as frontier workers will?
I cannot tell you how Gibraltarians will be treated until we have done a final arrangement with the European Union about the future, if we do one. If we don't do one, then Gibraltarians will be treated like every other British citizen entering the European Union. We will have to show our passports, and our passports will be stamped going into the European Union. And whatever is done to Gibraltarians entering into the European Union is what Gibraltar will apply to those who are entering Gibraltar from the European Union. Let's be clear about that. That has not changed. Nothing we have announced changes that, and we have not given away that opportunity for reciprocity to be understood to be the order of the day. And anybody who is suggesting the opposite is misrepresenting the position, as I believe the leader of the opposition has purposely done in an interview with you, or misunderstanding the position, as may have been the case with other media outside of Gibraltar. But your viewers should not misunderstand the position, and they should not allow themselves to be the subject of a cynical attempt at misrepresentation.
There's been a lot of talk about this having been crunch week for talks between the UK and the European Union, but this week has come and gone with no resolution and no announcement. What does that mean for Gibraltar and its particular set of negotiations for its future relationship with the European Union? By when do we have to have an agreement?
This is European negotiation. And a very wise old owl told me 3 years ago, before we'd even started the future negotiation, that the last minute is literally 10 minutes after midnight on the 31st of December to the 1st of January this year. This can go to the wire, and it may go to the wire. Of course, there will be implementation periods or transitional periods between the 31st of December and whenever new arrangements, if those new arrangements are negotiated, might enter into. But look, you can expect that this is going to go to the wire. The reason that I sometimes say to the people of Gibraltar, in the context of this year, in the context of the mistakes that the government is making, in the context of the difficulties that we're experiencing, is because there are two key things that we are dealing with: the COVID pandemic and the Brexit negotiation. The Brexit negotiation is as all-consuming as the COVID pandemic has been, and it's going to take us way through the whole of this year. And that's because we are concentrating all our efforts in getting it right for the people of Gibraltar, and certainly not giving away any negotiating advantage that has been foolishly suggested.